Hi and welcome to my playhouse, and today I have a little project here on the floor. I am not giving it much hope, but let's have a look at this. I did a review video of one of these. These are a cutter. You can cut big branches with it, and it has a bit of length to it, so you can cut a branch that is about 1 meter out of reach. And this one is, well, it's my mom's, and I have a battery here, and the battery is full, and you pop that in here and you do something. It doesn't really do anything, so it has a sound to it. I'm not sure if you can hear that. You probably can, but something is definitely off. So they have done something, and of course it's just out of warranty. I don't know what they have been cutting with this, but look at that. It has seen. I have removed the battery, so it's more or less safe to look at this. Yeah, something. It has cut something that it shouldn't have cut. There's a million little screws in this one, so I need to go and get a security torque thing. Actually, you know what? I have a set here we might be able to use now that we have the screwdriver here anyway. Might actually be able to find a security torque, or just torque. So let's take all the screws out and see if there's anything to do. These things aren't too cheap. They're like just under $200 for one of these, so it's okay to fix it if it's fixable. Let's see if we can take the screws out. I don't know why they put in so many. Probably because it's supposed to have a lot of strength. I hope they haven't put in a lot of different screws. That's all in there. Okay, there's one there that is too deep. The hole is too deep to go down there. It's not gripping. Same here. So we have 3 screws that are too long. So I have a set, and that will do the trick. I hope, if I can. Oh, it wasn't the screw that was too long. It's the hole for getting in there that's too deep. There we are. How many was that? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 17 little screws. So let's see if we can open this. Oh, sorry. missed two. They're very deep. That's 19 screws in this little thing. So let's see if this comes apart now. It sure should. If I have gotten all the screws. If nothing is hiding. Okay. That's an interesting setup. For sure. So let's see if we can see what's going on. So we can pop the battery in here. There. We can hold this metal thing up there. And hold that. Okay. So that thing isn't turning over. Okay. So it seems like the motor doesn't want to turn, which is weird. I'll investigate. Okay, I have a little battery here, a 12 volt battery, and I'm gonna try and turn the motor just by connecting around it. See if it will do that. To have this move forth and back. Try to just move the thing in there, and the gearing is such that it takes forever and ever. I can move this. It doesn't actually. I think it has just not gone up here and connected this switch here. Which might just be the issue. Maybe we should try that switch first. Just try and fake it as if that switch has been pulled. So let's pull that as if it's in open mode and connect down here, and oh, battery needs to be connected. There. So I'm gonna get my hands. Let's get that in there. Press the switch as if it's in the start situation. Nothing. Doesn't do anything. Okay, that didn't work. So let's see if the battery will move it forth and back if we connect that directly to the motor. I want to have it go that way if I can first. And it can. So, will it now do anything? not really. So let's try the other way. There's a couple of good things. The gearing is not broken. The motor is not broken. I'm not sure what is. So it's as if the motor is not getting enough power. It tries, but so it should get 18 volts, and it runs very well on these 12 volts. So it's not the motor, it's not the gearing, it's not the switches, it's the electronic, which is kind of a drag. I think this might be a lost cause. I have disconnected this. It's a very nice motor assembly, and it has a very good gearing. You can turn it around by a bit of leverage, and the motor spins very nicely. I have it connected and it doesn't do anything, so it very much seems like that it's the motor controller card here. I did also disconnect the battery here, and I connected this one instead to see if it was something with the battery, and the battery connections and some, nope, wasn't it. Didn't even want to run with the 12 volt battery. So yeah, I think this is a lost cause. It's fixable. You can buy a new PCB for it, but it comes with the PCB, it comes with the motor and the gearing, it comes with the battery connector and these switches, and it's over $100. On eBay it was $105 US, and in some random spare part thing it was $241. I would naturally go for the $100 one, but yeah, I think I might be able to find an entire thing running for less than that amount of money if I really wanted that. So yeah, the PCB most likely is toast. I also looked at these. There are some wires and some coil thing here. I'm zooming in on that. There, I'm not entirely sure what they are, but I tried to bypass them. I powered the motor directly, no problem. Then I powered it down underneath the PCB through that thing, and there were no problems. So I had a suspicion that these could be broken in some way, but they weren't. So yeah, that's so this is what my search has looked like. It's I've searched for the Ryobi Lopper parts, and there's a blown up photo of it here, and I found a place here where it had a spare parts where you could purchase it. $125. It's not too bad. If I really wanted it, I could get that. And I have a nice picture of it here. It's kind of a service manual thing where you can see it, and you get that blown up picture there with all the parts. And this is the PCB, and it comes with that, all the stuff that I just said out there that would be needed. You can kind of see it there, number 13. PCB with the motor and 3 switches and the clamp for the battery. So more or less, well, actually all the electronics in one go. And there are the part numbers. I used that to find the parts, and it's number 13. It's that one over there that I would need. And actually there's a nice little diagram of how it looks right there. So that would be all the stuff that I would be getting for my $125. But it's not really worth it, because there, I could get a new one, or I think it's a new one. I can get a new one for 117 euros, 118 euros. The euro is ever so slightly more than $1, so it's close to the same price. This is a tiny bit more expensive, but you do also get some warranty and a brand new thingy, and yeah, so fixing it, very unfortunate, but I think this Ryobi tool is done for, as that little setup is gonna cost more than the entire thing. It's a big part of the entire thing, but this thing, for example, is okay-ish. It doesn't look good up there. It has been biting some very stiff stuff, but yeah, unfortunately I think it could be used for parts, but then I would have to keep it around for a while, and who knows if I will ever have the use for it. So I really don't know what to do with it. I'm really way too good to keep broken stuff around, thinking that I will have a use for it later. It's like this thing looks really new-ish, and it doesn't look like it has taken any damage, and it's just because the PCB isn't performing as it should. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to keep it around. It's not mine anyway, so I'll unfortunately have to deliver the bad news to my mom and Jesper that I'm not gonna be able to fix this thing for a price that makes sense. When you can buy another one for less or almost the same, it doesn't make a good business case. I do sure hope that you have better luck with your Ryobi fixes if you have anything broken. But thank you very much for watching my video. Do subscribe to my channel so you can see me again, and have a really nice day. Bye bye.